Welcome everyone to the BAI Show. My name's James Rankin and I'm here with Jack Liebelt from Infive Agency.
That's the one. That's
nice,
the one.
Mate. Thank you so much for coming along.
Pleasure.
How's the day been so far? Like in the life of a buyer's agent?
It is good. I can't complain. Coffees this morning and then enjoying the sun, podcast with you, and then develop a meeting this afternoon and probably a cheeky drink before home.
Beautiful. And it's a good day to do it.
Lovely day, man.
In Melbourne.
30 degrees.
Yeah,
sunshine.
we'll take it while it's
Work on
here,
the
right?
tan.
Yeah. It'll probably be 18 degrees by the time we get out of here.
True.
But mate, tell me, in terms of your BA journey, we always try to like rewind like where you were beforehand, because a lot of people are doing this second, third, fourth career path.
Yep.
If we went back, maybe 5-6 years ago, what were you doing before the BA space?
Yeah, so I was a sales agent for about a decade in Melbourne's eastern suburbs. So with two companies across 10 years, BAI Plant and Noel Jones. Enjoyed that. Kind of got burnt out towards the back end of that stint. Took 2 years off to work with AGL. Still in the real estate sector, just managing their real estate partners from a utilities perspective. And then got poached by Box and Dice, the real estate CRM, to be their national sales manager. Only lasted about a month because MRI, big US firm, bought them out. So I was selling Box and Dice with them for about 12 months. They were just acquiring companies like crazy, as they do. So across a few restructures, thought now's the time to sort of make the move. And I've been thinking about doing the BA business for about 3 years beforehand. It was just a matter of right timing and funding and knowledge, and BAI popped up, man, and rest is history.
Those ads, hey?
That's it. They get you. They get you. They're everywhere.
Yeah. So was that Manningham office?
Yeah, so BAI Plant Manningham and then Noel Jones Blackburn.
Good office, like solid,
cracking.
Solid team there.
Mate, that was over 10 years ago. They were number one back then. They're still number one.
Like Theo and
they're beasts.
And the team.
Theo and
absolute.
Kills.
Yeah, bought a few properties, sold a few proproperties through them as well.
Yeah, well, they sold my parents' house.
There you go.
Through a vendor advocacy. So yeah, my perfect experience, good agents.
Yeah, high performing, team as well. So it's good to be a part of that, you know what I mean, and seeing. And you've obviously gone on, like they're not small roles that you took in or took over, right? Like Box and Dice, big company.
Yeah, it's a big firm. And we'd use them, obviously.
Sales. Yeah.
Heaps, but.
Yeah. And so in the real estate space, what did that look like, the journey? So I want to be a real estate agent.
You had to start. Nah, so it actually started. I was in retail, working at Doncaster at a clothing store called Marks. Mm-hmm. And at the time,
good old Marks. I remember that. Yeah.
I don't know where they are now, but so the director at the time, James, or one of the directors, he used to shop there with his wife. Mm-hmm. We used to chat all the time. And then one day he's like, mate, you're in the wrong gig. Get in real estate. So that was kind of my apprenticeship. Did a year of PM. Hate it, as most do.
Oh, yeah.
Jumped into sales. And then there's a bit of a director's shake-up towards the end there. And again, I was thinking maybe I'll look elsewhere, try something different. And that's when Noel Jones popped up. And I was just lucky that BAI Plant had been a number one performer in their space pretty much forever. Noel Jones at the time was the number one agency in Blackburn. So market share was good. The market was good. We just had a really good time.
Yeah. That is the other agency out there that we've used quite a bit at. Heading all the way out to sort of like Heathmont and what is it? It's Ringwood South and
they've got bigger now. They were sort of just the White Horse hub with Box Hill,
there's
Blackburn,
a few of those
Mitcham.
guys
Now
trying to think of their
Ringwood,
names,
Turner, there's like Warren Pass and
that's right.
The Ringwood office is quite good. I forget who runs the Ringwood office, but
I can see his face.
Yeah,
Mark, is it Mark? Mike
Muncie. So he's at Mitcham now.
Yeah.
Again, very good operator.
Yeah.
But and then again, a bit of a director split towards the end of that one. And I was getting kind of tired of, at that stage, needed a break. And then AGL popped up and again, in the real estate space, I had all the connections. It just made sense.
So what were you doing there? Like that's obviously big business.
Yeah. So they had a utilities brand, which is almost like a subsidiary of AGL. And it was really just managing their real estate partners' utility needs. So purchaser moves into a new property. They want to get utilities connected. Likewise with a renter. So we're just I was managing the Eastern Victorian section for them.
At consumer level.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So it was a lot of just networking and nurturing and making sure they were happy and referring connections and whatnot. And it was a good gig. It was probably I don't want to be rude here, probably a little too easy at the time, but it was a nice break. And then...
Well, coming from real estate, where it's just like bang, 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 and it's like 7 days a week. Like you want to make this thing work. It's just big how many hours you put in, right?
Yeah, and it was more so I wanted to check out what the 9 to 5 corporate world looked like, but still having that real estate attachment.
Yeah.
So that was good. And it worked, like I said, and they were great. The guys there, still keep in touch with a lot of them. They're awesome people. So it's a good experience. We had some fun and then just moved on.
Yeah, that happens, right? So real estate, like sales agent, started off in property management though, which was the way.
That was the
you know
norm.
what I mean?
That was
the road that you had to follow, and it's why I said no at the start too. So they tried to put me in property management, like 18 years old, and I'm like,
gig.
Dude, I'm not doing that shit.
It's a tough gig, man.
Yeah,
I don't know how people do it, but kudos to them because, like I said, there's some very good PMs out there. So.
Oh, totally, and the good operators. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like the absolute. You speak to them on the phone, you're just like, yeah, cool. You're a career property manager.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you get it. All right, cool.
Totally. And then it was kind of like, don't want to do that, then you're not ready for sales. So you got to go get life experience.
Correct.
Because I was trying to do it straight out of high school, like 18 years old.
It's tough, man.
You can't, like it's very hard to do.
Almost impossible. Like unless you're a top tier just individual who just gets it from the beginning, it's very hard to jump straight into sales.
Yeah.
Especially if you're getting a retainer that you got to pay back.
Just no one's going to take you seriously.
It's tough, man.
That was the thing.
Yeah, it's tough.
I look like I'm 12 now. So
I was
20 years ago.
You should see me back then. I was chubby. Oh man, like no beard. It was shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking.
So real estate, like as in sales, AGL, box and dice.
Yeah.
So another corporate, like you got experience to that world, which is good because you get to see like big operations,
100%.
how they, maneuver and whatnot.
Yeah.
I do find that that's a really good apprenticeship. You know what I mean? Like when you're working for these bigger firms, it allows you to see what goes well and what goes wrong.
Yeah, correct.
Like in terms of management and, like where shit just gets lost.
Crazy.
In translation. And
But it was also good. Like I was really keen because it was a national role. I was really keen to see, can I do this and like take on the next level? And again, big corporate, there's a lot of moving pieces. I'd never managed, a team before. So a big step.
Wow.
It was really enjoyable. It was
Must have interviewed well. Like
I do interview well, I can't lie. But just, bad timing, I suppose. Not bad time, but, MRI just with the acquisition.
Yeah.
Literally a month into me taking that job. And they had national sales managers.
Huge
plenty.
company.
So,
and they're still on the acquisition path.
They're awesome.
Like,
again, they're a top-notch firm. Like they're doing some crazy
American,
things.
right?
Like American firm. Yeah. So from a sales perspective, again, great company to work for. But just there was so many acquisitions all at one time. And again, you sort of float in and out of, I took the role because I wanted to do X. That's changed up.
Yeah.
And again, as I said, I've been thinking about the BA stuff probably 3 to 4 years prior to. But when I'd first thought about it, it was very unknown. So it was still a bit of a, can this be done?
Yes.
And then, like I said, the BA stuff started popping up and it just started making a bit more sense. And
jumped in.
Man, 2 years later, here we are.
So was that an all-in thing? Like,
all in. So I just thought, listen, the MRI thing was sort of coming to an end. Like I said, they were acquiring different CRMs and a lot more people were coming on board. So it was a perfect time to leave without causing any issues. And then, essentially myself and business partner at the time, who was at MRI, we decided to jump across together. We both sort of had a common interest in the space, been thinking about it for a while and thought, well, listen, now's as good a time as any, just take the plunge. And he was a bit younger than me, so I thought, well, if I'm going to do it now and I fail, it's better to do it now than have waited and not tried at all. So
totally. And family at home in terms of like that scenario, what is that?
So my partner, she's got a real estate background. She now works in finance. So she gets the sort of working aspect of the real estate.
Yeah.
She's fine with it. Like she's been EA for some top CEOs. Like she was Giles Craig's CEO's assistant for a number of years. So she gets that high level. And like I said, I'm obviously a lot lower than that, but she gets how the working relationship works.
Just the input, like the amount of work required.
Yeah, and she understands what's going on. So she's been a big help and big support, especially starting a new business. Because like I said, it's going to be a bit risky going out around, especially when it's going to be your full-time income. Mm-hmm. But like she's been fantastic. Family was all on board. Like the parents have been very helpful in terms of we sold their joint, bought them a place in Elwood. And it's been good.
Yeah,
can't complain.
So 2 years, the start of the business, what was the main focus? Like what were you wanting to create?
When we started it, we just wanted to, not bespoke, more, we just wanted to create a business that was more focused around the people as opposed to the actual transactions. Like our goal was we both love people, we both love property, and to sort of make that your day-to-day was the goal, but to make it work was a bit harder. The way we started out was to be all referral focused. So very, very client-based, make sure the service and the experience is top-notch, top-notch, and then that will flow on. lucky enough, that's basically what's happened. And we've just sort of been able to keep sort of piggybacking the last purchase, which has rolled into the next purchase, which has rolled into the next one. And it's given us a reasonably good name in the market for service, because most of my clients now that I've worked with are friends. We'll go out for dinner. I've got a dinner Saturday night with clients we bought for 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, taking them out. So we'll take out family and friends of the buyers who are now, like I said, they're now friends, and it's worked really well.
It happens, right? Because it's such a like intimate experience, especially if
100%.
you're buying people's homes. You know what I mean?
Big time.
You do become friends, and it's kind of like this awkward thing at the end of the like. What do we do now? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, do we keep in contact? Like,
it's like we did a final inspection with a client who bought in Richmond just yesterday, and they were saying the same thing. We hadn't seen them for probably 3 weeks, and they were like, "It's just weird not seeing you every weekend."
Yeah.
But like I said, it is what it is. But I think that's the best part about the job is those relationships, and because we do primarily owner occupier. It's just meant that we spend a lot of time with them, you know, on a weekly basis during the 5-6 weeks we're together. It's just naturally going to happen.
It is good when you get that, like you find your right clients.
Yeah.
Because obviously talk to a lot of buyers agents, and there are quite a few doing the investment space, right? Like
heaps.
Just like numbers, like what's the volume for this year or for this week or this month or whatever it is, how many clients through the door, bang, 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 bang. It's just like
over.
This huge machine, you know what I mean? Like there is emotion around like what they're creating for people.
Yeah.
But in terms of that purchase, it's kind of like, here's the property. Yes, no, we've got to make an offer in 5 seconds.
Yeah,
otherwise
correct.
the deal's gone.
So
You know
the
what I
numbers
mean?
work, and then
it's just like very, very quick.
Yeah.
And then I haven't done it in a while, right? Like I haven't really done it, but Tristan, who runs the BA business still, he had a 7.5 mil brief, and I'm like, cool, I'm coming.
I mean,
yeah, I'm coming. And it's just, you get to that level with people, and they really start opening up to you, and they, I've definitely turned some of those relationships into friendships.
Yeah.
Where it is, you could easily catch up with them for dinner or a beer, and the conversation's
100%.
not going to dry up. You know what I mean?
Nah, what's the best part of the job? You know what I mean? And I think because we're not high volume, we're pretty, 4 or 5 at a time maximum, no conflicting briefs. So when they are with us, they do get us, the whole time.
Yeah.
But it's the best part of the job. Like the guys last night, they got 2 young kids who are, we're now good friends with them, and they run around doing their thing. And, the guys we bought for a fortnight ago, they referred me to their mum, and now I'm good friends with her, and just the way it goes. It's the waterfall effect that works.
Have you done like a family tree, like a map on it?
I was doing it. Well, I thought I might do it for this beforehand. I did it a little bit last night in my head. I'm thinking, geez, because pretty much all our business has been referral based.
Yep.
Next year we'll do a little bit more marketing and socials and whatnot. But it's working at the moment. We like it, and like I said, I think those relationships that are pretty much key to a flowing business. It's just making life a lot easier for us.
And that's rare as well. Like I think you get taught that more in real estate. That's probably
that's the thing. Yeah,
that's where it's come from, right?
Yeah,
like
I think noticed in BA that's a lot.
Yeah, it's not really instilled. A lot of not even a lot, but the earlier type of real estate books. Like if I picked up if I wanted to become a real estate agent, like type book, it's like how to build a referral based business. You know what I mean? And that's not mortgage broker referrals. That is like how to just get your clients to refer clients.
Yeah, correct.
Because that's the business that all those guys talk about.
100%.
Panos, like any of those training, Fegan, like Josh Fegan, like all those guys will really talk about, no, you got to make sure that you're extracting referrals out of that existing client.
And especially when you start out in real estate, a lot of your work is buy work. So like you're just building conversations, you're building relationships that will hopefully eventually turn into listings.
Yeah.
And that kind of just flows on in this stuff. But I think, like I said, if you can get, and again, I'm probably lucky the most that I've actually had a decent amount of experience in the game talking to people, and that's sort of the best part of the job. But when that starts becoming second nature, you can actually start building a bit of an emotional connection to your clients. And I think that flows on. And like I said, if they have a good experience, they're just going to keep talking about it. And like I said, it just flows on.
And if you've started there and it hasn't, like you haven't even turned on any marketing or like external, I wouldn't even say you need to do additional marketing like from a paid sense. It's probably just like a couple of mortgage brokers that you build relationships with.
Correct.
That flow on to what you've already created is pretty exciting, to be honest, because from what I've seen at least, it's been the other way around. Like if you're going and opening a lawn mowing service, that tends to be a referral based business because it's like, oh yeah, neighbor, like use this dude, use this dude. But in the BA space, it's kind of like just go straight out to mortgage brokers, start those relationships there and then build it. But you've created that base from day one. What do you think the key is? Like if you were to tell someone how to be successful in building that type of business?
It's tricky, man. I mean, it probably comes down to just not coming across like you're chasing the sale or the purchase. And that's like super, like it sounds like general knowledge. Like,
do you know anyone else that's looking at buying?
Yeah, but it's if you sort of put that part aside, because we needed business. Don't get me wrong, we were desperate for business, but when you get one or two in, you've just got to let that part go, service the hell out of them,
just build
that rapport. Yeah, and I guess I was a bit lucky having done it previously when I was selling homes, so. The process we used was pretty similar and straightforward, but I think because the ethos was we wanted to overservice from the start to give them that good experience to engage and help us build that referral platform. I think by doing that at the start, it did leverage us a lot moving forward. That's probably the best advice I'd give. Like, don't think too much on the sale, because when you start out, you're going to want to get the first deal done ASAP. But don't let that compromise the relationship with the client, because if they know, and they'll pick it up pretty fast, like clients and buyers, not stupid, info's everywhere, and social media is rife with people promoting themselves and their process. If they feel you're just rushing this through to get a deal done, it's going to impact how they refer and talk about you to others. So I think that's the main thing we did, and we were lucky. Like I said, we weren't super stressed. We had backings from partners and families about if this thing falls through, we're going to be okay.
You got to have a roof over your head.
But at the same time, we still realised we had to put some food on the table. So I think it's just like, I wouldn't worry about the money at the start, but be conscious of the level of service. And
do you still ask for a referral? Like, do you know anyone?
I won't ask for referrals. I can't remember actually where I saw this, but I saw it. I did see it on an Instagram reel. We asked for introductions. So we will include a sale or a purchase, and we'll flick through obviously sort of a finalising email. But given the relationship, we'll be texting anyway. But towards the end, we'll ask for an introduction. So if you know anyone else who's having some issues, or if you saw value in what we did, if you could kindly introduce us to that person or those people, that'd be appreciated. But no pressure. And that's it. It's like with the Google reviews. I get a lot of slick for this. Like, I don't often ask for Google reviews. Sometimes because the client prefers discretion, which is fine. But sometimes I just, it just feels a bit weird. But you got to do it.
I get that, man. I totally get that. I probably, talking this through with you, have ran a similar business because you don't want to compromise that relationship just for the sake of that thing.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, I really, really understand that and can relate quite a lot.
But you do need the reviews though. That's
it stacks over time. You know what I mean? Like, the difference between 10 reviews and 50 reviews, not much. You know what I mean? So when you do get to that point, it's like, there's valid, they're valid. Like, it's an actual service, like it's a real service. But when you say, I think it gets to a certain point where it's like, it's nice. They're good to have along the way. And they'll just keep stacking.
Well, that's the thing. And we've started just recently we'll still ask for a Google review, but it'll be in the email. It'll just be, listen, if you feel obliged, click the link, it'll take you to our page, go crazy. But we've started actually asking, listen, instead of leaving a Google review, if you want to remain, private and confidential, which is totally fine, would you mind us using you or like an avatar of you in a case study? And 9 times out of 10, they're like, go for it.
That's it.
And that works.
People just want proof. Like, people just want to, hey, is this person legit?
Did this happen? Okay, cool.
Did it happen? But there's definitely merit to that, and we're big on creating that case study.
Actually, I got the idea from you.
Yeah, it's just it is very important.
Yeah,
and if you do it throughout the process too, because it's a bit like you'll miss little bits and pieces. So, like, I'll just always say to people, if there was a magical moment throughout that, right? Like, there was a realization to you or the client, write it down. You know what I mean? Because that'll be the thing that you can bring up to them if you're doing a testimonial or anything like that. But just, you're making note of that case study throughout.
It helps.
And it helps a lot. So not only when you go out to mortgage brokers, but for future clients, because you can profile them, right? You can say this person, like young professional, young kids, whatever they are. And then you can say, hey, I'm chatting to so-and-so.
Yeah, exactly.
You understand, they're the same as like Bill and Sally. Cool. Yeah. Send them their case study.
And it's funny how common briefs are as well. Like,
so common.
Like, you don't realize you'll be dealing with someone you think, okay, yeah, cool. You'll go ahead about it, and then you'll meet the 2 next people have the exact same issues and brief as the previous. And it's just like,
funny, right?
it's random.
Yeah, that law of attraction or whatever it is. A friend of mine runs a mechanic shop and he'll send us photos quite often where there's been like 3 Audi A3s white in his shop. And it's like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like these different brands that'll just, be exact same color, exact same model.
It happens, man.
It happens, right? And then, even on the on our side of the industry, like that buying side, where we're probably talking in a certain way, we might just be out there, talking about this client or talking about our experience with this person.
Exactly.
And it's just, I know someone like that. And it's just bang, there it is.
And it happens all the time. All the
And
time.
that referral of, are you typically buying in a similar region, like similar area because of that referral nature?
Yeah, so we're pretty much eastern suburbs. And like I said, it can be hit and miss, the referral process, because if you're trying to target a certain area or suburb, but the referral train takes you all over the shop.
Yeah.
You obviously can't say no to that referral to nurture that relationship, but you just got to be conscious that if I'm going too far away from where I want to be mindful. But yeah, most of our stuff is eastern Melbourne, like the eastern suburbs of Melbourne, bit of Bayside as well. But
it's rare if it's eastern. It's rare that they're going to get someone in the west.
Yeah, correct. Hasn't happened to me yet. So.
Hasn't really happened.
Nah, we had one in northern suburbs, in Thomastown, and again that was my client's mum. So it's just, you know what I mean?
You do the one.
Yeah, correct.
And it's not too hard to get to the north from the east.
Nah, like I said, it's not to be like elitist or anything like that. Just I live in the east of the east suburbs of Melbourne. It is what it is.
It's exactly it is what it is.
Yeah,
and that day to day, like, has it changed from being a sales agent into the buyer's agent space? Like, obviously you're working for a company.
Yeah, good
now
question.
It's your company.
I've definitely taken a lot of the day-to-day, like ideal work week, daily tasks from my real estate career into this. Just, in terms of your calls.
Regimented.
Yeah, your calls per day, your connects. Obviously, I don't track it as rigorously because the BA space is a little bit more fluid, where you things
relaxed.
pop up, you got to go.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely block out 2 or 3 days where I won't have any appointments. It's just business admin, prospecting. I've got to start posting. I don't post enough. But yeah, I'll definitely block out allocated times for those things and then away I go. But if people want to meet, and like I said, my business is so face-to-face, like not a lot of my stuff is virtual. Like I'll take the Zoom call or the FaceTime if requested, but a lot of my catch-ups are either at the house, at a cafe, at their office. So I'm on the road a bit, such as small. It's easier if I just sort of keep 2 or 3 days up my sleeve where there's nothing really locked in, but if nothing comes about, I know what I'm doing. But if meetings pop up or, like I said, I got to go meet someone for a coffee, discuss a brief.
Podcast.
I'll do a podcast. I'm here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm here.
Do you front load the week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is heavier?
Have to.
Yeah.
Big time. I'm trying to do less. Like I've been told to leave Saturday alone for just doing deals. It's tricky, man. I'm all over the shop, but yeah.
I always front load.
works.
Like definitely front load my week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is always heavy. This kind of stuff. I do sometimes on a Wednesday arvo, but typically Thursday, Fridays I do keep it pretty open.
Yeah.
And then the Saturday when I was working very heavy in like opens and whatnot and auctions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 8 till 1 o'clock, you can't really do anything
Not much
else.
you
You
can do,
can't
man.
book anything else in.
Nah,
You
but
just
people
have to
do
leave
want
it there.
to. People still want to see us. So it's tricky.
Well, I worked Sundays at the start.
Did you?
I just did Sundays because I could always get people on a Sunday.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
see, my missus worked in dealerships, so
she was working on the
sometimes she
weekends.
had to do Saturday, Sundays.
Yeah,
So
okay.
we were just, the
cruising.
weekend's going to be cooked.
Yeah, okay.
Missed that many birthdays and engagement parties,
Did you ever take a
weddings,
day
all
off?
that shit. At the start, it was meant to be Thursday, Friday.
Yeah,
that was
okay.
what I was trying to take off.
Yeah.
But because it wasn't ever the case, I would get out and play golf on a Thursday. That was like my main thing. And then Fridays, in real estate, it's pretty quiet. Like it's generally quiet. So whether it's working or, you're recovering from the other days, getting ready for Saturday.
True.
But did a lot of meetings on Sundays, like tons.
ya?
Because everyone's available, right? Like not many people have stuff to do on a Sunday.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, they can bring the kids or, whoever can look after them. But
a good idea. I haven't done it before.
Did a lot. Even just on Zoom, like you can just catch up with people on Zoom or even just on the phone.
Yeah.
Any time that I would open up my diary on a Saturday or Saturday and Sunday, typically the Sunday would always get a booking.
Really?
Like always. Yeah, if you had Calendly
I'm gonna have to
and you
take that
chuck
from you.
Sunday on,
Yeah.
you always get a booking.
Because I'm trying to take Friday off, but like it's been difficult.
You got to have a balance, right? Like you have to have some form of balance. I cringe at the thought of those years, because I did it for like 10 years where it was just Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
And I get like, anxiety thinking about it. But, that's
At the
where
start,
a
you
lot
got
of
to do
the
what you got
success
to do,
came.
but
I was always the contrarian of business, you know what I mean? Like anytime someone was off, I was on.
Yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean? Like I was just trying to think of where these people aren't going to be. Always work Christmas holidays.
I was gonna say, you working
always
Christmas?
work Christmas holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because, like they weren't around.
I think at the start
one
you
else
have
was
to.
around.
Like you sort of have to cut your teeth doing this hard stuff at the start. It is what it is. You
It
can't avoid it.
It is what it is. And it's like, how much do you want it?
Well, that's the thing. Especially when you're starting out and if you haven't got any experience,
Yeah.
it's just like you've got to get the runs on the board.
That's why I just say to people when they are starting out, it's just like go to opens. Because you had your apprenticeship, even though it was like a long apprenticeship.
Yeah.
You would have had it at the start, but you would have been pushing the broom.
100%.
Open doors, doing all the shit
Putting all
work.
the signboards
you know
out,
what I mean?
doing everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was a lot of Sunday. Back then there was a lot of Sunday work.
Yeah, there you go.
There was a lot of Sunday work, but
Yeah. And so, that contrast into a lot of skills that you picked up in the real estate space, sales, and that regimented nature of, what is it, 10 by 10 or any of those types, the good old.
The 9 before 9 type stuff.
9 before 9. And that does build a good base into the BA business. But what does the next 6-12 months look like? What are you wanting to do?
Man, good question. So I want to expand. It's not public knowledge yet, but we want to expand the offering. So again, just through past clients and referral networks, the offerings that we have, like we're just pretty much owner occupier, but we are getting questions around: do you offer any financial advice work? Do you touch commercial? Do you explore super? Which is red flag. We're going to expand the offering probably into commercial. I did do a bit of buying and selling commercial back in the day. It's been a little while, but we'll probably open that up. And then we got to get better on socials and Google. We don't do like I said, we don't do any marketing. So I do want to understand what that looks like, but I just want to be cautious not to impact the nature of the business in terms of we only work with a set number of clients. We don't take on any conflicting briefs. When you get us, you get us. We want to keep that. I don't want the service level to drop off, but you obviously want to grow and expand. And
it's a tough one, you know what I mean? Like
it is hard. Like we struggle with it.
It's really hard to say one or the other. You know what I mean? Like because it's such a big time commitment. We repurpose a lot of stuff, right? Like we do the podcast, and then this thing gets chopped up into 1,000 pieces of content, and it just like goes everywhere.
Just flies.
So that part of it's easier for producing content, but it's still the putting it on, right? Like I've got thousands of hours of video on my phone or photos and all this kind of stuff, but it's still like, oh yeah, I'll take this photo and I'll put it on Instagram, and it doesn't get put on there, right? Because it's just that effort of putting it on and like writing a caption for it. And
I'm not
shit.
good with that either. Like I'm terrible with that kind of stuff.
So that part of it is when you do get to a position of getting someone on board to do it for you, I find that that's like the magic sauce.
Yeah, I think that's where we're heading in.
You got to do shit yourself at the start. Like you have to know how it works.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool, I get that thing. I just don't want to do it. So
basically, yeah. It's also picking the platform. There's so many platforms.
Choose one.
I know. You said to pick one. So like I said, we're gonna do that. And like I said, I will have to bring someone else on just because if we're going to increase the volume, you're going to need more hands on deck. And that's a challenge in itself because I've obviously never run, apart from that stint at Box and Off, I've never run a full team myself. But also I've never run a team where their salary is dependent on me. Do you know what I mean? So there's different levels to it, but
it allows you to learn.
I'm excited for it, and
and it's just looking at that growth. Like, what do you actually want? Yeah. It's very hard. Like some people need to push and like see what they're capable of. Yeah. And it's just like, cool, I'm doing 12 deals a month. Yeah. That's cooked. I don't want to do it anymore. I'll go to 8. But I know I can do 12. You know what I mean? Like I can be up there with the best. Yeah. Or not even the best because it depends on what they're buying.
Yeah, correct.
But I can operate at that level. But I'm more comfortable at 8 or 6 or 4, whatever it is.
Well, and we sort of had that issue. Sorry to cut you off. We did the exact same thing. So we got up to eight or nine, and we're just all over the shop. And like you could feel the service was just getting hurt. Like it just wasn't making sense anymore. So, and we found dropping down to 4 to 5 worked for an individual beautifully, especially because we're low volume, high ticket. It didn't make sense at the time to do anything more. And like I said, because we're trying to be that referral-based business from the start, you couldn't compromise on that. Whereas now we're not going to compromise on it, but we want to bring more people in to be able to offer more.
Build it out.
Yeah, correct. Because you get the same client will come back 2 or 3 times, but they'll come back 2 or 3 times asking for 2 or 3 different things next time. Do you know what I mean? Like the commercial stuff, a lot of my clients have said, mate, listen, we want to buy a commercial space. Can you do it? And because it wasn't sort of our offering at the time, I turned it down. As much as I wanted to do it, we turned it down and refer it on. Whereas next year we'll probably take that on.
I've always turned it down too because it's just not. I
It's
just don't know enough about it.
Yeah,
yeah. I'd feel weird like talking about something I don't really know.
Well, that's
you know what I mean?
You got to know because it's a different transaction altogether.
Yeah, I know enough to be dangerous. Like I feel I'd do it myself.
Yeah,
I could maybe go and purchase myself. Commercial, I'd know enough, but yeah, I just haven't pulled the trigger ever. Like just never done it. And I've got very good mates in that space too. Yeah. So it's
if you need a buyer's advocate,
absolutely. So 12 months expansion, you are wanting to just push the
we want to see how far this can go. Like we're not going to be a small little boutique forever, but we want to keep that. That's fine. At the start, we wanted to be similar to White Fox, but not a White Fox.
Yep.
And that's hard to do.
But shop front,
like
that type of thing. Office, few desks.
Yeah, correct. But like I said, we'll stay Vic base. Don't want to go national at this stage. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, 2 or 3 more staff next year. Maybe another VA, another BA, and then we'll see how it goes. Slow and steady, man. Slow and steady.
The traditional agency model, right? Because if you compare
Pretty
that
much
to the investor space, I call it advisory. So you got agency and advisory. Advisory is more like that machine operation where it's like you put it onto the next person, the next person, the next person, and it just goes through this, stages. Whereas the owner occ does go through these stages, but it's more of when you're building out the business, it's kind of like a listing agent almost, like the buyer's agent.
Yeah.
And then they have their assistant that might help them with opens and whatnot. And maybe a VA that's just doing some processing in the back.
Yeah, exactly.
But they build out like you're wanting to create more buyer's agents, not just a sourcing agent. You know what I mean?
Correct,
that's the terminology shift.
Yeah. And we had some teeth in there with like we potentially tried to shift the sourcing to someone else and just like the buying time crept up.
Yeah.
The quality of stock that you'd get was worse. There was a lack of off-market stock. And then like you don't want it hurting your agent relationships as well.
It's relationships.
And that's it because like I said, because most of the agents in the area I service, I know either well through me working in the area or my partner, that can get tainted a little bit if you give it to someone else because they feel disrespected. And like I said, there's a lot of great real estate agents out there, but they can be quite fickle, to be fair. No offense to any agents.
Nice, yeah.
But yeah, so like you got to be mindful of that as well. So we're just trying to get that balance.
Yeah.
And I'm still only 12, just coming on 2 years,
that's
in
it.
business. So it is still
still here.
Lights are still on. Can't complain.
Yeah, that's it.
So we're all good.
And mate, just as closing, I always ask guests, if you were walking down the street and you bumped into someone that wanted to be a buyer's agent or was looking into the space, what would you say to them?
Good question again. Definitely join BAI. Good foundation there. But no, I just if you want to do it, just jump in. But it's hard because I do appreciate in the real estate space where if you're an agent, you're going to work with someone who's done it before and you learn the foundations. I think you got to learn the foundations first because it is relatively easy to start your own business as a buyer's advocate now if you're going to be an independent. But if you do take the leap, just learn by doing. Like, and I was bad with this. I wanted everything to be perfect, website perfect, process perfect. Got to get the perfect business cards. It's totally irrelevant. Just learn by doing. The stuff you think that matters has no bearing on your success, and stuff you give no attention to is everything, and you'll learn that just by doing it. So just learn by doing.
Efficiencies in the inefficiencies.
That's pretty much it, man. Yeah. Like, and I was terrible with it. Like, I couldn't sleep at night sometimes thinking about what copy I had on my footer of my website, like stuff like that. You know what I mean? And like, I got to get. Should I wear a shirt today? Should I wear a branded polo? Should I wear a t-shirt? What would this person do? What would that person do? Like, it's all irrelevant. Just do your own thing, learn by doing, and you'll be fine.
Awesome.
Gold.
Jack, so good to have you on, mate.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
See you soon.
Cheers.